This video addresses an incident that has been featured in the local news media, as well as in the DOJ's Phoenix report. According to the DOJ, in this incident, Phoenix police officers shot a man who, quote, presents no immediate threat and who was, quote, not physically aggressive and, quote, never threatened the officers. But as you'll see from the actual videos, this isn't what happened. The goal is to restore context that's been missing from these other sources. Officers were sent to a behavioral health group home after staff reported that a resident, Matthew Begay, was trying to jump out of a second-floor window. A crisis intervention trained officer, referred to as CIT for short, and a mobile crisis team were also requested. The mobile crisis team is an entity that is not controlled by the Phoenix Police Department. They consist of mental health professionals. Even though the mobile crisis team was requested right away, the mobile crisis team was 25 minutes away. The caller said Mr. Begay did not have any weapons because weapons were not allowed in the group home. Officers arrived on scene and contacted Mr. Begay on the second floor landing near the staircase. Other people were on the second floor of the residence. Officers spoke to Mr. Begay from the middle landing of the staircase for about 15 minutes and repeatedly asked him to come downstairs so that he could get help. He refused. Mr. Begay said that he wanted to die and pulled a SOG brand knife from his pocket. Mr. Begay held the knife with the blade facing down in a manner consistent with a downward stabbing motion. He then began moving towards the officers. Mr. Begay then moved the knife so the blade faced up. One officer drew his handgun based on the violence potential of this armed suspect in close proximity to this officer. Another officer drew his taser to have a less lethal force option, something officers are trained to do if they have time. The taser was deployed but was not effective. It didn't stop Mr. Begay. Mr. Begay continued moving down the stairs towards the officers while moving the knife in a threatening manner. The officer with his handgun took a step back but ran into the wall. He could not retreat, go backwards any further without losing sight of Mr. Begay, which would create a tactical disadvantage. That officer fired 3 rounds from his handgun as Mr. Begay got within 6 feet of him. The officers extracted Mr. Begay from the house and rendered aid. He was later pronounced dead. His autopsy report indicated that he had methamphetamine, marijuana, and alcohol in his system. Imagine for a moment that you encounter a person in a stairwell and attempt to have a conversation with them, but their response is to pull a knife. The person makes reference to dying and then begins walking towards you while continuing to hold the blade. The person gets within an arm's length of you. Do you feel threatened? If you said yes, the DOJ would like a word with you. In the DOJ's unreal worldview, this is a non-threatening encounter. If you defended yourself, the DOJ would say you were wrong. Think about that.